All right, so we will start as we usually do with a little bit of mindfulness on our back. You might also see me checking my paper because I've made some changes. So whenever I make a lot of changes, I need to try and remind myself what those changes are. So the technique is always just to be aware of the breath. And now we'll begin to deepen our breathing. So on the inhale, you feel the belly, ribs, the upper chest. And as you exhale, you reverse that. And that is Dirga, or three-part breathing. And then we will add to that the Ujjayi, which is like fogging a mirror with your mouth closed. So just that soft hissing sound on both the inhale and the exhale. All right, today we're focused on back bending. So there are a few areas we want to open up right from the start. Front of the hips, front of the spine, and front of the shoulders. So we'll begin with the hips. Let's bring the left leg in. Give it a squeeze, just wake it up a little bit. Make sure it's your left leg. I know we usually start with the right. And then we'll take that leg up and drop it over. And this, as many of you know, is called a cat tail. So we drop it over, prop our head up on the hand and elbow, take the bottom leg back, and then bending that knee, we reach back, we grab the foot. And what we're looking for is a stretch in the front of the thigh. Now, I actually feel this in my back. And again, this is the reason we're doing this here, because actually the front of your thigh and hip attaches to your low back in a kind of indirect way. Less indirect than you might think. So it's actually one muscle group. We could call it one muscle group that extends and attaches to those two areas. So we can lean back into that, into the back bend. We can pull the foot in quite aggressively. And of course, the breathing is very important. You won't hear me doing the breathing because I'm teaching the class. So when I teach in person, I don't do the postures. I usually am just standing, walking around, talking. But online, I find that doing that, all hell can break loose, because a lot of times in person, people are looking at other people in the class to figure out what to do. So if no one is doing the postures, there's no example. A lot of people are just confused. All right, let's release that leg and we'll roll back onto our back. Take a breath. I'm just going to turn so I can continue facing the camera. Okay, from there we bring that right leg in, which we were just stretching, move it around. Give it a squeeze, and then we'll take it up and drop it over to the left. We prop our head up, move the leg back. So for everyone here, this is a familiar posture, and this is called the cat tail. For anyone unfamiliar, it should generate a stretch in the front of your thighs. So if you're not feeling that, something isn't working. Either you're doing the posture incorrectly, you're not deep enough, or perhaps you have a very unique physical body, unique flexibility, whatever it might be. And so that can sometimes be the case as well. Regardless, reach out, contact me after class, and we can go over what you need to work on to change that. So again, I feel it in my back a little bit, not surprising. and this is why we're doing this. If you're wondering why we're holding it so long is, again, whether we are stretching or creating static strength, it takes a little bit of time to do that. So as much as we might be impatient, or in the West we're used to a constantly moving type workout situation, there's certain things where we do need to hold. Okay, let's release that and we'll come back onto our back. We take a breath there. So now that we've opened up the front of those hips, we will begin to dress the other areas. So let's start with the spine. We'll bring the legs in and rock up to seated. Cross the ankles, roll forward, and we end up in the tabletop. And in tabletop, we can do a few rounds of cat-cow. So this just tends to be a very effective way of warming up the back and the spine, this dynamic back and forth movement. It's just very good for working the kinks out. So you inhale, lift, exhale, tuck, and you do that pretty much as many times as you feel is effective. So at a certain point, more repetitions just don't really feel like they're doing much. And I believe I'm getting to that point now. Okay, then we can come back to neutral, and now we want to address the shoulders. Now, when I teach this in person, I see a lot of people doing this, so don't do that, okay? What am I demonstrating? Your hips are at your heels. So we're going to keep those hips above the knees, okay? And instead, you walk your hands forward until your forehead or chin reach the mat. And then you draw your chest down and back. And you want to feel it in your shoulders. Notice my arms are straight. My elbows are off the ground. Okay, if my elbows are on the ground, then I want to place my hands on a couple of blocks. Okay, as we inhale, we walk those hands back up, and then tucking toes, we lift the hips and we come up and back into a down dog. Now in down dog, we're just going to work on our lower extremity here. So toes, ankles, knees, hips, legs, the muscles in the legs. So I definitely feel this in my calves. That's very common for me. So different body types will hold tension in different areas chronically or habitually. It's just sort of the way it is. So for me, calves are an area. Okay, then we'll take a few breaths in our down dog. Hands shoulder width, fingers wide, palms flat. Chest drawing toward the toes, feet hip distance, heels reaching toward the ground directly behind the toes. With our exhale, we'll just walk the feet to the hands as we come into a ragdoll, which is just a gentle stretch for our back. And we can nod or shake the head, sway the hips a bit, just loosen things up. And then with arms relaxed, we inhale and roll up to the standing position. Okay, so now what we'd like to do is do a slightly more vigorous form of movement. These are the sun salutations. Very good way to raise our core body temperature. And ideally, at the end of sun salutations, we have just a little sheen of sweat. Just not necessarily dripping sweat, but we just have, if we were to take our finger on our brow, we would have a little bit of sweat on our fingers. So if that's not happening, you may not be exerting yourself, or you may have your AC too high, okay? All right, inhale, arms up, touch palms, lift the heart, standing back bend. So today is a back bend focused practice. Let's take a few breaths here exploring this. What I'd like you to think about when doing back bends is lengthening the front side of your body. So Pay attention to the area from your pubic bone through your chin and try and create an even stretch that you breathe into along that space. So notice if all the bend is coming from one area, one joint, or one segment of your back, and see if you can create an even stretch. All right, let's inhale back through center, and we will exhale to the forward fold. Let's bring those palms flat. We'll bend the knees if we need to. Let the neck really relax. And then as we inhale, we'll come to fingertips and lengthen out the spine. With the exhale, we plant the hands and step the right foot and then the left to the top of a push-up for plank pose. So in plank, we have our ears, shoulders, hips, knees, and heels all in one straight line. From here, let's take a breath. We exhale, we drop those knees and come down. Now, I'd like you to be mindful not to drop your shoulders below your elbows, which would look like that. Okay, so please do not do that. Much rather you be up here, but make sure your elbows are bent. Take a breath and then exhale onto your belly completely. Then, with the feet together, you're gently pressing them into the mat. And as we inhale, we lift the hands and then the head, neck, and chest. So we're just isolating the back, okay? Now let's work on that dynamic strength. So we exhale, slowly come down, and then we inhale and lift up. We see if we can lift a little bit higher. Good, exhale, lowering down, and then inhale up again. So we're just going to repeat that a few times. Good, and this last one we'll hold. So we come up and we're just holding. Make sure you breathe as you hold. Good, exhale, come down. Inhale to tabletop and exhale to downward facing dog. So I can already feel my core temperature has been raised quite a bit, and we haven't even really done that much yet. I, of course, have to shut off my AC completely because the sound, the noise from the AC would get on the video. So my room might be a little warmer than yours, but again, keep that in mind. Sweat is not our enemy. It is a great way to detox the body. Okay. We inhale to the toes, fill the lungs, exhale, step, jump, float to the front edge of our mat. We inhale to the standing back bend, and then grabbing the right wrist, we exhale and pull ourselves into half moon. Again, let's try and create an even stretch along the right side of our body from the waist through the wrist. We look to the right and up to roll the shoulder back. So inhale back to center, we switch wrists, and we exhale to the other side. Good, let's inhale back to center, and we exhale to the forward fold. Inhaling to the half lift. As we exhale, let's plant the left foot and then the right to the top of a push-up, or step the left foot, then the right. Now, as always, you have the option of knees up or down. Again, we avoid dropping the shoulders below the elbows. Okay, so take a deep breath, exhale halfway down, and take a breath there. And then exhale onto your belly. Now, this time we are going to explore flexibility of the spine. Okay, so this time as we inhale, we press into the hands. We lift head, neck, and chest, but we keep the pelvis down. Now, when I teach this in person, I see people doing this incorrectly all the time. Either they're really low and they could press up higher, or they're beginning to lift their hips up. Look at how much further it looks like I go. But it's an illusion because I'm using my hips. I'm not using my spine more. So even though this doesn't look as deep. I actually feel it in my back more because I'm keeping my pelvis planted, so it requires my spine to work harder, okay? Exhale, let's lower down. Now this is a very important move, okay, and I've been breaking this down quite a bit lately. On the inhale, we want to avoid this. Please look at me. This. Okay, that's what I see all the time, okay? That will not make you stronger. So you can do tabletop and then down dog if you need to, okay? Or we will inhale, lift knees, hips, and chest at the same time. So inhale, everything lifts. Exhale, downward dog. Now, you know, it may not be perfect at first, but hopefully you're understanding the intention of what you're trying to do there. We don't want to peel off the ground. That's not going to make us stronger, okay? Want to lift everything at the same instant. All right, very good. Let's do one more. So we inhale to the toes, fill the lungs. Exhale, step, jump, float, front edge of the mat. We inhale to the standing back bend, up and back. And then exhale, let's stretch our right side. Good, inhale to center. Stretch the left side. Inhale to center. And then we add some squats here. So this is what I was speaking about, dynamic movement, okay? So these are Hindu squats. They're called Hindu squats. What we do is we reach back and then inhale and exhale up to seated, okay, like this. Now you need to breathe a little bit faster when you're doing this. And you want to make sure there's no pain in your knees or ankles or hips, okay? So completely pain-free. All right, next one, let's inhale up and exhale into our chair pose to cultivate some static strength. So hips are down, arms are back, face is relaxed. Good. Let's inhale, standing back bend, up and back. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale to the half lift, and then exhale right to the bottom of a push-up, low plank. Inhale, straightening arms and legs for up dog. Your knees should be off the ground. Okay, your legs are active. And then on your exhale, let's do a push-up on the way back to the downward dog. All right, so now we add our last sort of strength, dynamic, quick movement, okay? And then we'll get into some slower dynamic movements and some static movements. So these are called dandas, and they are like this. I bring my face really close to the ground and sweep through. Inhale into essentially up dog, and then I exhale back to a down dog. Inhale, pull through, and exhale, downward dog. All right, good. So we'll come back to our downward dog. And now we'll begin getting into some deeper work. Let's start with a three-legged dog. Feet touch. We inhale, right leg up and back. Okay, and then from our three-legged dog, we exhale, lunge, and inhale to the Ashta Chandrasana, crescent lunge. Okay. So in crescent lunge, we want the front foot and knee pointing straight ahead, the knee directly over the heel, the thigh parallel with the ground or as close as we can get. The left heel is pressing toward the ground, left leg is straight, arms are up and back, breath is deep, rhythmic, and slow. From here, we'll take a nice deep breath. We exhale, bend those arms, and then we inhale up into the stupa, which is a transition. And then we'll exhale and do crescent lunge at the back. Good, let's repeat that. Inhale up, and we exhale, crescent lunge at the front. Good, a few more times. Inhale and exhale. All right, this time we inhale up, stupa, and we exhale to our goddess. So in goddess, we want toes and knees pointing in the same direction, knees over the heels, thighs approaching parallel, and the arms are mimicking what we're doing in the legs. Okay, good. From our goddess, let's inhale back up, and we'll exhale, cartwheel down to the bottom of a push-up. I believe we did goddess last week, so it should be very familiar, fresh in your mind. Okay, so side two, we bring feet to touch. Inhale, left leg up and back, three-legged dog. And exhale as we lunge, we inhale to our crescent lunge, Ashta Chandrasana. All right, good. From here, we exhale, bend those arms. We inhale up to stupa, and we exhale to crescent at the back. Good. Inhale up, and exhale, crescent at the front. One more time. And then this time we inhale up, and we exhale to our goddess pose once again. Okay, so again, dropping those hips down, really working those thighs. Good, let's inhale, come back up, deep breath, and exhale as we cartwheel down, bottom of the push-up, making your way to the downward dog. Okay, and then let's exhale to tabletop. Let's look at our tiger pose. So with our next inhalation, we lift the head and the right leg, and we bring our foot toward the sole of our foot toward the crown of our head. Okay. Now let's add a little bit of dynamic movement by inhaling the left arm up, and then as we exhale, we round the back, pull the elbow past the knee, tuck our chin. So we reverse the action, and then inhale, lifting back up again, and then again, exhale, reverse the action, tuck and squeeze. Good, continue. Good. Let's squeeze and hold for 1, 2, and 3. Inhale, lift, and exhale, release. All right, side 2. We begin by just lifting the head and the foot. That is the basic baseline tiger pose, if you will. Okay. And then we inhale, lift that arm, and then exhale, tuck and squeeze, and then inhale, We're going to do a total of 6. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then last one we hold, 6. Good. Inhale, lift, and exhale, release. Now, make your way back to the downward facing dog, however you like to do that. Okay, so you can go straight back, you can vinyasa, you can tabletop back. All right, from our downward dog, let's inhale toes, exhale front edge of the mat. Inhale standing back bend, up and back, and exhale forward fold. We inhale to half lift and exhale to the bottom of a push-up. Okay, so you make your way back to down dog. All right, good. So let's integrate the goddess into our flow. We begin with feet touching. Inhale, right leg up and back. And then let's bend the knee and open up the hip a little bit. So it's called the dog tail. And it gives our side a little bit of a stretch. Good. From there, we exhale and lunge. And inhale to our crescent lunge, Ashta Chandrasana. Okay. Good. Exhale, bend those arms. And then we inhale up to Stupa. Exhale to our goddess. Inhale back up. And we exhale to crescent at the back. Good. Let's repeat that again. We inhale up. We exhale to our goddess. Inhale back up. And we exhale to crescent lunge at the front. Good. Now, what we'd like to do is add the bird pose. So we inhale, arms up. Exhale, grow some wings. And then lift off the back leg. Pull the buttocks toward your, or the heel toward your buttocks. Notice the foot is flexed. Head, neck, and chest are facing forward. Good. Take a deep breath and exhale to the bottom of your push-up and just make your way back to the downward dog. Okay, from here, let's do the other side. So feet are touching. We inhale, left leg up and back, three-legged dog. And again, we can bend that knee and open up the waist a little bit, letting the weight of the leg pull us over. And then exhale, lunge. And inhale to the crescent lunge. Good. Exhale, bend those arms. And then inhale up, stupa. And then exhale to your goddess. Inhale back up. And then exhale to crescent lunge at the back. Good. Again, inhale. And exhale, goddess. Inhale back up. And exhale to crescent lunge. Good. Now inhale, straighten those arms. Exhale, grow some wings. And then inhale to your bird pose. Notice how bird and tiger have a very similar orientation of the head and the leg, okay? So I select these postures for a reason. Good, let's exhale, bottom to push up. So even though you may not make the connections, there's again a reason behind why I select each posture. Some of them are common to almost every class because they're just good postures for doing certain things. But a lot of the ones that change, I've selected them again for a very specific reason. Sometimes some postures are just a transition, or they're for strength or something like that, but a lot of the postures are because they are related with what we're working on in general in that class. Okay, so let's take another look at tigers. So from down dog, we exhale to our tabletop. This tiger, the last one, was more about strength. This one will be more about flexibility. So I inhale, lift the leg, lift the arm, and then I reach back. So again, left arm, right foot. And then I kick up and back. So I have a diagonal reach behind my back. I'm lifting my head up, kicking my foot up. Okay? So similar to like a bow type posture. Good. Exhale. Let's release that side. So other side. I lift the leg, I lift the arm, and then I reach back. And then holding, I'm kicking up and back and lifting my head at the same time. Good. Exhale, release, and then make your way back to the downward facing dog. From our down dog, we'll inhale to the toes. We exhale to the front edge of the mat. Inhale to standing back bend, up and back. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, and exhale to the bottom of your push-up. You'll make your way back to the downward facing dog. All right, everyone, so we'll put everything together in one last standing flow, and then we'll do some floor work and get into some really deep back bends. So begin, feet touch. Inhale, right leg, bend the knee, open the hip. Now, you don't have to do this next move if you don't feel safe. So if you don't have a stable shoulder or you don't have a good back, you can skip it. But otherwise, flip your dog over, lift the hips, move the arm a little bit. So this is a move we haven't done in a while, but I'm bringing it back. Okay, and then from there, we come back down, lunge, and inhale to our crescent lunge. Exhale, bend those arms, and then inhale to the stupa. Exhale to the goddess. This is primarily a transition in today's class, the goddess here. And then exhale, crescent at the back. And then inhale, arms, and exhale to your bird pose. Good. Inhale, step back. Okay, into your crescent lunge. Exhale, bend those arms. Then inhale up to stupa. Exhale to goddess. Good. Inhale. And exhale, crescent at the front. Again, inhale the arms up, and then exhale to your bird pose. Good. From there, inhale up to stand, and exhale, let the arms relax. And then, well, let's do the other side, and then we'll do this, our peak posture, okay? So let's go ahead and come back down. Downward dog. Feet touch. Inhale, left leg. Bending the knee, open the hip. And then again, you can flip your dog over, lift your hips, move your arm. And then exhale, hand to the ground, lunge, and inhale to crescent lunge. Exhale, bend the arms, and then you inhale up to stupa. You exhale down to goddess, inhale back up. You exhale to crescent, inhale arms up, and exhale to bird as gracefully as you can. Inhale, step back, sweep the arms up, crescent. Exhale, bend those arms. Inhale up, stupa, and then exhale to goddess. Inhale back up, exhale, crescent. Good. Inhale, arms, and exhale, bird pose. Good. Let's inhale up to standing and exhale. Let the arms relax. All right, so now we want to take a look at what I call the standing tiger pose, okay? So at the front of our mat, we bend the right knee and we bring that foot in. And what we'd like to do is reach across diagonally like we did before. Okay, so we grab that foot like so, okay? Now, so it looks almost like the dancer except it's diagonal. Right foot, left hand. Make sure that that's what's happening, okay? So inhale my right arm up and then exhale, kick up and back, and then I hinge from the hips. Okay, so very similar to the dancer, and this is the balancing tiger or standing tiger pose. Good, inhale, come on up, and exhale, release. Let's try the other side. So I bend my left knee, reach back with the right hand, grab that foot, opposite hand, okay? Inhale, left arm up, and then exhale, kicking back and up, hinging from the hips. Good, inhale, come on up, and exhale, release. Okay, very good. From there, let's make our way onto the belly. Relax, bring your right hand over your left hand and your forehead on the back of the hands. All right, so we're done with our standing postures, but the deepest back bend work is done on the floor, just so you know. So we'll be doing that now. Doesn't mean you need to go deeper or go any further. I'll give you options, okay? So let's just lay down for a moment. Take a breath. All right. So we've warmed up for back bends, so we shouldn't need to do any more warming up at this point. We're basically ready. So very similar to tiger is floor bow, Dhanurasana, okay? So to do the floor bow, we bend both knees, grab the feet, ankles, or shins, and unlike tiger, our feet can flex or point, so that really depends on you. And then exhale, and with your inhale, kicking up and back with both legs. Good, exhale, come on down. Let's bring the left hand over the right and rest the forehead on the back of the hands. All right, beautiful. Now let's do a little bit of hip work here. I decided to integrate some hip work between the back bends today's class. So we'll come back to tabletop, and what we'd like to do is bring the right knee forward into a king pigeon pose. So very similar to the sleeping swan and yin, except we're going to keep our torso up. Okay, so hopefully you still feel the stretch here, but you're also getting a little bit of compression in your back as well. So it's a type of back bend, also a hip opener at the same time. All right. From there, we can come back into the tabletop and switch legs. This is often just referred to as pigeon, but it's actually called the half king of pigeon pose. Okay, so again, that left glute, the back, you can use blocks. So, you know, if you're not getting enough extension here, if you're not feeling it in your back at all. Hips down, very important for getting that hip to open. All right, good. Let's go ahead and come into tabletop, and then we'll bring our shoulders up over the hips. So knees, hip distance are slightly wider. Same with the feet. And our shoulders and hips are above the knees. We're preparing for the camel. Feel free to tuck the toes to make the heels easier to grab. And then our hands on the low back, elbows in toward one another. Okay, inhale, lift the heart. And then this can be it. Just like that. But you can also grab your heels and let your chin drop back. Good. Inhale, come on up. And then exhale back to a seat. That's called Vajrasana. So feel that heart. I don't know about you, but my heart, whenever I'm doing back bends like that, my heart gets to racing. Again, that's good. That's what we want. We want to get our heart rate up. We want to sweat. We want to breathe deep. We want to get out of that zone that we're in when we're seated at our desks. Okay, and so back bends are a great way of doing that. Okay, let's do the counter stretch, which is the rabbit. Just touch your feet with your hands, take a deep breath, exhale, tuck the chin, round the back. Bring your forehead as close to your knees as possible. Grab your heels, and then inhale, lift the hips. So the weight is in your arms, and the crown of the head is just kissing the earth. Good. Exhale, hips come down, and inhale as you roll back up into Vajrasana. Okay. All right, very good. So let's inhale back up. We'll do a side stretch now. And this is Gate Padangusthana. So let's take the, not going to mirror you on this one. So left leg to the left, foot is flexed. All right. Inhale the right arm up, and we exhale into our side stretch. I also want you to feel it in the groin, okay, in the inside of your thigh. So drop over enough to feel that groin stretch and the stretch in your waist. Good. Let's inhale. We come on up. Exhale. Pull the leg in. Other side, same thing. Gate. Good. Inhale. Let's come on up and exhale. So we pull that leg in. We'll cross those ankles and roll over them. And then let's inhale our arms out in front, and we'll exhale and just roll back onto our back. Now this potentially is our deepest back bend, which is the wheel, but we'll do bridge first, and you have the option to stay there. So again, feet and knees hip width or slightly wider is okay. For bridge, we just lift the hips, take hands underneath us, interlace fingers, join palms, and shrug the shoulders under. And we lift those hips up. Okay? So pretty mild, but a very good back bend. You could stay there. If you want to go a little further, then you release the hands alongside your head, and then pressing into the hands and the feet, you lift yourself up into upward bow. Good. With your exhale, come on down and just let your knees knock in, and that's called constructive rest. Again, feel that heart. Very powerful. All right, let's bring our legs in. We'll give them a little squeeze. Shake that off. Okay, and then I thought we'd try a hamstring stretch on the back here. Let me make sure that's what I've got next. Yeah. All right. So this is something we often do at the beginning of class, but today I thought we'd try it at the end here. So we take our right leg up, and you can use a strap. We grab the big toe, strap, or the edge of the foot, and we pull the leg until we feel a stretch in the back of the thigh there. Good. And then from there, what we'd like to do is just take that leg out to the side into a supine twist. So we're going to keep the shoulder on the ground, and we'll take that leg over to the left side. Good. Let's inhale back to center and exhale as we bring that leg down. Let's try the other side. So bring that left leg in, and we extend it up. Again, feel free to use a strap. Big toe, you can grab the edge of the foot. You just want to stretch the back of the thigh. Good, and then from there we take that leg down to the right, and we look to the left. And feel free to bend that knee at that point if you prefer, okay? So that's really up to you. All right, good. So inhale that leg back to center and exhale as we release. Again, I'm going to check, make sure I'm not missing anything. All right, perfect. So now we come to inversions. We take the hands, slide them under the hips, and take our legs straight up. Okay, so very simple. Saral Viparita Karani. I can put a block under my hips or a blanket. I can rest my legs on a wall. I can also just stay like this, okay? Now, if I want to go a step further, the next step would be plow. So I bring the feet toward the ground behind me. Similar to the bridge, I interlace fingers, join the palms, shrug the shoulders under. Toes toward the ground, legs straight. If I want to go a step further, I can hold my back or my hips and take my legs straight up, and that is shoulder stand. Whatever you've chosen, let's bend the knees, and if your hips are not on the ground, bring them back to the ground. And then we take our legs straight out, bring them together, and flex the feet. Then, with the palms up, we slide our fingers under the buttocks or thighs, pressing into the elbows. Now, a lot of people get confused with this for some reason, so you might need to look at me to clarify. We lift the upper body off the ground and then just bring the crown of the head just ever so gently back to the earth. Good. Inhale, release, and exhale, come back onto your back. Okay, our last one is the happy baby. So we bring our feet in and we can stretch things out a little bit. Good. And then from there, we can relax on the back, heels apart, palms up, head centered, chin tucked in slightly, eyes closed. Shavasana.